Good morning, everyone. Meeting of the Portsmouth Economic Development Authority to order. Party, good morning and welcome to everyone that are here present in the room and those that may be listening to us out in the technological Zoom world. We have quite a bit to do this today. So hopefully we'll try to get through this as expeditiously as possible. But again, thank you. And as we usually do, a call for our director, Donahue, to take us through the agenda, beginning with the roll call.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, Commissioners, City Manager Chapman. Also like Buell, other representatives in the room. I'll begin with the roll call. Mr. Barber.
Here.
Ms. Drury.
Here.
Mr. Mitchell.
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Mrs. Saunders Smith is absent. Mrs. Smith.
Here.
And Mr. Smith.
Here.
Chair, we do have a quorum. Your first item on the agenda is your November 15th meeting minute package, which was provided to you this past Friday for your review. We are in need of motion to approve the minutes, unless you have any other comments as it presented.
So moved.
Drury and Mr. Barber. Read the roll. Mr. Barber.
Aye.
Ms. Drury.
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
And Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Minutes are adopted as presented. Okay, we are now going to move into your financials, and we are going to turn this over to Farisha and her team. But we do have the FY22 financial statements that have been prepared, distributed to you for your review. There's a copy on the table for you this morning. And we also have the auditor who will be joining us virtually this morning. So Flora, I'm going to.
Good morning. So we'll be presenting to you today audited financial statement for fiscal year 2022, which is year end on June 30th, 2022. We presented financials back in, I believe, in July. So practically the numbers didn't change, but what's different in this report is that these reports are audited and we'll be having today, and we do invited our auditor. CLA is our audit firm to present their opinion and other matter related to financials. So if they're online, so I'll pass it to them. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
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 Yeah, I guess I'll get us started. So my name is Greg Bussink. I'm a principal with CLA. So I am responsible, I guess, for the overall engagement. But Eris Coleman, who is also online, she's the engagement director. So she oversaw the day-to-day operations of the engagement. Thank you all for the opportunity to present the results today. I'll start off. I just want to thank everyone in management for their assistance throughout the audit process. Everyone was very helpful to us in getting us information. The information was well organized. We didn't have any audit adjustments as part of the process, or any what we call past adjustments, so that something that might be that rose to a certain threshold that we had to consider the materiality of it and whether it needed to be adjusted, but we didn't identify any of those type of adjustments either. So I mean, overall, we think it was a good product that management produced. That if you look at the financial statement package that you have there, that's all prepared by management. They record all the transactions during the year, make the decisions about how things would be recorded, things like that. So again, I just want to thank management for their help and their assistance. Again, we had no adjustments. We didn't have any findings related to the engagement, so no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies that needed to be reported to use governance to let you know. So just thanks them again. So if you look at the financial package, what you have there, as Flora mentioned, we didn't have any adjustments. So there's no changes to what the results that you saw previously. It's probably just formatted a little different. The package probably looks a little nicer than the interim ones that you saw. We're planning on issuing what we call an unmodified opinion. It's a clean opinion. It's the highest form of assurance that we can give. So that's again what management wants. So one thing you'll notice this year when we do issue our opinion final, and that should be in the next probably next couple of weeks. We just have to get through our QC process, and with the holidays, it's just slowing things up a little bit, just with people taking time off and all. But we'll get this thing issued as soon as we can. But the opinion will look a little different this year. There's been a change in auditing standards that required us to basically use the new opinion format. So when you see it, it's about a half page to 3/4 of a page longer, and it will have a breakout in more detail of management's responsibilities and the auditor's responsibilities. And when we used to have the opinion at the end of the letters, now they're the second paragraph. So just really to stand out to the readers, and to express the opinion a little sooner in the process. But overall, it's the same result. It's what you want, is a clean opinion. So when you look at the financial statements, it's always important to read the notes. As you look at the back, they tell the story behind the numbers. They tell what your policies are, and then it has detailed information about certain numbers within the financial statement. So it's key to take a look to understand the numbers. You need to read the notes as well. And then there's ultimately, we'll issue an opinion or a letter on internal control as well, and we have no findings there, so that would be standard kind of boilerplate language when you receive that letter too. So no findings there. So just a couple things to point out in the financial statements, I think. When you look, you see the audit report will be dropped in when we're done, but then there is a section of management's discussion and analysis. And what that does is it really includes the financial highlights. So if you don't have a lot of time to go through the financial statements, we recommend you read the MD&A to kind of get the high level idea of what's changed. And that includes summarized financial information. As you'll see, table 1 and table 2 have summarized information on the statement of net position and then on the statement of changes in net position there. So I wasn't going to go to a lot of the detail since we didn't have any changes to the financial statements. So at this point, we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
No question?
No.
Ms. Breach, anything you'd like to add about the process or the results of the?
I mean, we discussed this thoroughly, back in July. Like Greg mentioned, if you have any question and you would like to get it now, if you're professional, if you're good with numbers, read the numbers. If you're not, just read MD&A and notes, and it will give you the full picture. And most of the commission are aware of this.
So with this currently being in the QC process and the due date approaching, are we gonna meet our due date requirements or?
So, our due date was on December 15th.
Right.
So right now, there's so backlog and everything changing audit industry and, everything. I don't think we're gonna make the due date, but I'm promised by Greg and Ayers that they'll finish this thing by the end of December, which is gonna put us in good shape because they're aware of our requirement report and they were supposed to do by December 31st.
Okay.
So I hope so, and Greg and Ayers are here to help me with this question.
Yeah, we're doing our best to get it done by the end of the year. So we'll keep pushing on our side to get it done. We're working with management. We'll get them to sign the representation letters for us and get it done as soon as we can.
Because we have some requirement for bonds and stuff, and they're aware that we're supposed to turn our audit in by December 31st, when they said it.
And is there a negative impact on us if we don't meet the?
Yeah, if you don't make anything on time, obviously it's impact, but as long as we make the December 31st, I believe we should be in good shape.
So if there's no questions now, on the financial reporting package, if there's anything that comes up, please feel free to reach out. You can reach out to us directly, or you can go through Flora, and then she would be happy to pass them along to us, and then we can get you an answer.
Okay,
Okay.
any other questions?
So I mean, this is a lot to take in, just sitting in front of us here right now, but I guess my only question would be, were there any red flags or issues? Because I don't see any here from going through this quick.
It is perfectly fine. No adjustment, no, the highest opinion an auditor can give is unmodified and qualified, and they're giving that to us. The only thing is that they have their own processing. Prior to doing final, they have to go through their own process. So, but what they're saying is that everything is fine, no adjustment based on whatever we've done, and we're gonna get a clean opinion.
Okay.
Am I right, Greg? And
Correct. Yep.
But no red flag, it's just the
So-
procedure. Now industry has changed a lot with COVID.
But just for clarification, the delay is due to the backlog with CLA and not anything that was done by the city.
So in sense of EDA, yes, I don't know, I mean, I don't know, maybe you can, I mean, I don't wanna blame them, you know what I mean? So maybe Greg can you tell us why this delay is?
Well, the delay, I guess, for this year, and this is we have a policy that it's a 15-day turnaround from the time we receive a clean set of financial statements. So it's a full ACFR. And the city and the EDA were a little bit intertwined in wrapping up. So we had a delay on the city side, which is where a lot of our focus was. But the EDA has been a little bit ahead of the city as far as getting things wrapped up. So, but it's really, it's a 15-day policy from the time we get the ACFR to we're able to turn it around through our quality control process. And that's just kind of 15 days is what we consider to be a reasonable amount of time to get a set of financial statements, review it, provide comments back. There is some back and forth about things, you know, some revisions to the statements. Didn't have a lot with the EDA, which is good for this year. But it still does take us time to get through our process.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to comment, the fiscal reports that we've had this past year have been, you know, outstanding in terms of the amount of information and the quality of the information. So I want to thank the staff of the city for, you know, fine presentations during the year.
Yes. And if we do have any questions, we would present them to her. But I agree. I think overall, we've done, you know, staff has done a pretty good job in reporting and keeping things in order. Even considering their staff shortages. So we want to thank them for, you know, how they've managed things. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Okay, and to clarify, I don't believe there's any formal action required on the part of the EDA. I believe in the past there may have been a need to acknowledge the financial statements. And ask Mr. Miller just to.
Yes, that's accurate. In the past, there have been, the EDA has approved the audit by resolution, but that's not required. And so we don't need to do that today.
Okay.
All right, okay, very good. Unless there are any further discussion items as it relates to the financial statement, we're going to move on to old business. And the first item is really just a thank you for the December 8th, 2022 Business Appreciation Reception, which was held at the Renaissance. We really had a really nice event that evening. We had pretty substantial turnout with the business community, partners, city officials who were present, and the EDA as well. So really wanted to extend my thanks for your participation, sponsorship of the event. It really was a fantastic evening, and I think the business community really appreciated the recognition that they were provided there, and opportunity to network and meet with you all in person to celebrate what really was a phenomenal year in 2022. For those who were not present, or for the public which has not heard this, we did have another 9-digit year of investment activity that has occurred through the Economic Development Office. We achieved just over $112 million in new capital investment in calendar year 2022, which is the 5th consecutive year of that level of growth. So want to thank you all for your support, congratulate you on the role that you played in achieving that. And I'd just like to say, looking at 2023, I think we're building a pretty significant pipeline going forward. So we've now set kind of the benchmark, and we're working to maintain that momentum. We appreciate the city's support in that, the EDA support and role, as well as our Port and Industrial Commission. But just wanted to say thank you again for your reception and your help with that.
Yeah, and I'll ditto, and it was very well attended. It was a really enjoyable event. We got a chance to meet, a lot of new business persons that were there. Even Mr. Bland, Executive Director for Housing Authority, he dropped by, spent time. So it was very worth our investment and time. It always comes out that way because folks, they showed up. And we really appreciate those that came and their input, and just having the chance to meet so many small and medium and large size. I think Fairlead, I think, was probably the largest employer there, but there was a lot of which is the way we are, small businesses and medium businesses that were there, and we thank the staff for putting up another successful event together. Any other comments? Thanks.
Thank you. We're going to move on to your FY22 Business Investment Grant Program update. We do have a very quick update for you on last year's program, which we are in the process of closing out. We do have 3 real property investment grants that were awarded. I do not expect you to be able to read what's on the screen, but we do have 3 grants that are nearing completion, 2 of which are in need of an extension. We have those on the agenda here this morning. I believe they're the next items for your consideration. But essentially, we're down to the last $75,000 that needs to be distributed. We did approve a total of $218,000 in funding to 15 projects for this program. So we're going to close this out. I expect that in all likelihood by March, those funds will have been dispersed. We also have the Small Business Smart Start Business Acceleration Grant. We have what shows on this report, which was dated as of November 30th. One project that was in the process of being closed out that has actually been paid out as of this date. And that was a $5,000 grant to Harbor Family Eye Care for some expansion that they were performing. So we assisted 11 businesses under that program, dispersing approximately $55,000 in funding. The other program was your Smart Start Business Development Grant. We assisted 30 businesses under that program, and that has been completed and paid out, closed out for several months. So just a recap for 2022. Was there any questions about?
The only comment I have is that as we prepare next year's budget, we might want to consider some additional funding for this program, because we seem to be utilizing all the funds.
we'd be happy to revisit that when we start having budget discussions. Always certainly supportive of the EDA's commitment of, resources to help more businesses in the city. So we would certainly welcome that and look forward to having that discussion, Vice Chair. We do have two extensions again that are being requested. The first is for 603 Hanson Avenue. That is Oxford Enterprises. They're doing business as Toddler Time Child Development Center. They have previously been provided two extensions for the work there, which is a pretty significant expansion of their facility. That second extension actually expired on the 11th of this month. The applicant was in contact with us prior to that date to inform us of the need for additional time. They are very close to completing. They have requested a final last extension of 90 days to allow for them to complete the work, and that would put it at March 11th. If we can advance, Ms. Tracy, to the next slide, you will see here that they've really built an entire new wing to the daycare facility, and they're very close to receiving their certificate of occupancy. They're really in the finishing stages at this point, literally painting, flooring, and so forth. And they probably, in reality, need 30 to 45 days, but a 90-day extension will allow for us to complete the payout of the grant fund. So they're almost at the finish line, but they've obviously had some delays with contractors and materials, which we've experienced before.
Do you want to take them separately or combined?
I can present both together if you'd like, and then I would ask the city attorney how we prefer that we take action.
Sure, why don't you go ahead and present the next one, and then you can determine whether to move for both.
The next application is 600 Port Street. This is Privilege Premier Restaurant. They are also very near to completion. Their schedule lines up here with the last application. So again, looking at a 90-day extension request, putting that completion at March 11th. You can see from the photos, there's been probably 99% of the work has been completed. So they're very, very close to being wrapped up there, but it really is a pretty phenomenal transformation of this, what was once a restaurant, then an art studio, back now to a restaurant. It's a pretty amazing transformation that they've made. Mr. Epps, the applicant, is here this morning. Should you have any questions, he is present this morning. But they're very close as well. So similar situation here. And both of these grants are in the amount of 25,000, the maximum.
I move, approval of the extensions.
A second. Oh. We do this.
Just to clarify, so that would be to approve both together.
Yeah.
So one bill. Okay.
I just had one question for Mr. Epps. First of all, great project. Thank you so much.
It looks great.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you. We're extending for 90. Do
Yeah,
you think you'll be done prior to?
yeah. Well, we could be. The thing is, a lot of the inspections have been like delayed. Some of the inspections were a little extent. They were asking for stuff like the hood suppression system. We've been waiting for over 45 days for them to just even come out and check it out. So just, trying to find a company that'll come in a reasonable time. I just, for any reason, don't want to have to request any more time because I don't think there'll be any more time allotted for this. So inspections is the only thing that we're waiting for, and we should be within that 90-day process, right?
Yeah. That's right.
Any further discussion on either item? Okay, I'll proceed with the roll call vote. Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Ms. Drury,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mrs. Barbara Smith,
Yes.
and Mr. Smith.
Yes,
The items are approved by a vote of 6-0. And we are moving on to your FY23 Business Investment Grant update. This program opened back up, and we're again talking about all three programs, the real estate investment grant, and then the two small business grants for development and acceleration assistance. The round opened on October 1, closed on the 31st of October. We had 16 applications that were received. You can see the breakdown here on the screen. We had 6 real estate grant applications, 8 business development grant applications, and 2 of the acceleration grants. So certainly noteworthy that the highest number were for those startups that were in need of assistance. And we are in the process of finalizing our review of these applications. The next round will open January 1. That is going to be an online digital application process through our website. And that's at accessportsmouthva.com. We do have a breakdown here of the applications that were received. Of the 16, we've currently processed and awarded 11. So we're just working through the last few here. Hope to have that finalized before the next round opens back up. Certainly happy to answer any questions you may have about those.
Could we get that sent out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, we will provide both sets of reports, the FY 22 and 23.
And a good job on the marketing of the one for January. I've seen it all over social media. It is out there.
I appreciate that, and you're helping too to share that with your network. And thank you, Ms. Tracy, who's really been putting that out there on social media and also through our marketing communications department to make sure that everybody's aware that the program is available. But we will certainly, Ms. Drury, get you those reports. Okay. All right, moving on to new business. I did want to share an announcement with the board that the Virginia Economic Developers Association, which is the statewide organization for economic development practitioners, will be holding their fall membership conference in Portsmouth in September. So September 20th through 22nd, we will be hosting a group of over 300 economic development practitioners from across the state here at the Renaissance that week. And there'll be a number of discussion panel discussions and events surrounding that. But we're very happy to have the group come to Portsmouth. They've been through before, but it's been a number of years. So we're looking forward to hosting that conference. I will be co-chairing it. So we will have some additional updates forthcoming, maybe some opportunities for the EDA to participate, sponsorship and so forth in some of those activities. There is an interest I will share in having something at the casino. I think the professionals from across the state are really interested to see what we've done here in Portsmouth with the Rivers Casino. So I will keep you updated, but I thought that was a noteworthy announcement to share with you all.
A major coup. That's great.
Okay, the next item is the 2023 retreat planning, and I'm going to turn it over to Chairman Smith here to share thoughts or comments.
Yeah, the only thing just to remind everyone to turn in your suggestions for topics to our Vice Chair, Mr. Mitchell. Basically, we're looking at, our own retreat involving the EDA. So just remember to get those to him as soon as possible. So in case staff needs to make arrangements with some outside guests to come and present. So that's really it for that. And since you just mentioned Rivers up in this little section here, thank y'all that came out. We were given a tour, a very thorough tour, and city manager and our city attorney and her staff, Kelsey and Jeff. Well, Jeff was with us, and I'll thank everyone that was there. I didn't believe what I saw. I know I was a lot of folks ask me all the time, when is it gonna open, when is it gonna open, and I said, well, they said January the 15th. But, you know, when you walk through and what we saw, it's very,
It's a
very
real
possible.
real possibility, yes.
I mean, what they've done and all that's left to be done. I was amazed, and it's gonna be awesome. I mean, they've done a lot of work, and just to see it all from, you know, all over the place, from the executive suite to the dining room for the employees, all the restaurants, and the largest video screen that's going to be on the East Coast inside of there. All of that's just awesome, and so they're going to have some pre-events, soft opening kind of events, charity events before that, the 15th. So, and they're definitely going to be ready as far as I see. I think they mentioned only one restaurant, the Yard House probably wouldn't be ready till late on in the summer, but the other restaurants are all going to be ready. So, any other comments?
We just thank you for organizing and appreciate
Yes.
the opportunity to do that. It was, like you say, it was very enlightening.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I know that's something that has been on my mind, and we all get hit with the questions. So, and that really gave you some ammunition to take out to the public that, you know, it's gonna happen, because folks out in the community don't believe it either. So, to be honest, but it is gonna happen, and it's gonna be just such a tremendous boost for that the quarter. They came out to Waitner, vice president for hospitality, came to our civic league meeting and made a presentation. So, and there's a nice group there. So yeah, they're reaching out and they're doing things, and we look forward to them doing a lot more. So,
I wanted to mention I was at a dinner party last night, and there was a lot of people from Norfolk and hospitality, and I was told that 2 restaurant managers for the casino were hired away from the main in Norfolk, and they were talking about the pay and how much the casino is paying over what everybody else around here is paying, and everybody's a little bit in shock in how much they are paying. So they are pulling from all over the entire region right now. Big topic out there.
Yeah.
It was a good topic on my side, so.
yeah, and we got to see a lot and meet a lot of the workers in there, and that it was a plethora of types and colors and ethnics. You know, all of them were there working. I mean, like ants crawling all over the place, and they were all working together. We got a chance to talk with some of them as well. So, and they're working around the clock. As a matter of fact, when I was on the way getting in my vehicle, there was a guy sleeping in his car, and I kind of woke him up, I guess, when I was slamming doors, and I said, "Almost time for your shift to start." He says, "Oh yeah." So he was coming in for the evening shift, but I guess he came a little early, so he caught him a nap before he went in. So yeah, they're working around the clock, and that's how they're doing it. So again, thank y'all for being a part of it. Okay, moving right along.
Yes, and I will just share, January 15th is the opening date. There will be a grand opening ribbon cutting event that afternoon at 2:30. I do believe invitations are going out. And then at 3 o'clock, the doors open to the public, and they will remain open 365 throughout the course of the year, 24/7, 365 days a year. So very exciting times ahead. There will be 2 soft opening charity events that will be happening prior to that. I believe we're looking at January 10th and January 12th. Those evenings, I do believe they are going to be holding 2 soft opening events. So stay tuned for details on that as well. Okay, Chair, we are in need of a closed meeting this morning. And I do believe we have a resolution that has been prepared and that has been provided to Vice Chair Mitchell.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rams.
Happy holiday.
You, Mr. Rams.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
I move to go into a closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Code subsection 2.2-3711 A.3 for the purpose of discussing the acquisition or disposition of real property, where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, specifically regarding strategic acquisitions and dispositions of 1021 High Street, 3002 and 3006 Deep Creek Boulevard, and 700 Crawford Street.
In need of a second.
Second.
Brown. For any discussion on the item? Hearing none, I will read the roll. Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Ms. Drury,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
and Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Item is approved by a vote of 6-0. We are now in a closed session.
I hereby move that each commissioner certify that to the best of his or her knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting just concluded.
Second.
Second by Mr. Brown. I will read the roll. Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Ms. Drury is absent. Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith is absent. Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Item is approved by a vote of 4-0. And we do have an item to be added to the agenda, and I believe Mr. Miller has a statement to add.
Yes, since I've been told my handwriting is questionable, I'll go ahead and read. Go ahead and read, and if somebody can just move this and second it. And then vote. I move to authorize the amendment of the purchase and sale agreement for 700 Crawford Street to provide inclusion of MWBE contracting provisions and an expedited closing date.
So moved.
Second.
Pushed by Mr. Barber and a second by Chairman Smith. I will read the roll. Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
And Mr. Smith.
Yes.
The item is approved by a vote of 4-0. And which order we?
Yeah, I believe the next two went out with the package.
Okay, they did, and I think the first item on the agenda is 1100 High Street. And we are in need, unless there's any further discussion, we are in need of a motion to adopt that resolution for the sale and disposition of property at 1100 High Street.
Move to adopt. Second.
Mr. Brown and Mr. Barber, I will read the roll. Barber,
Aye.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
and Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Item is approved by a vote of 4-0. Your next item is a resolution for the sale and disposition of EDO property at 3002, 3006 Deep Creek Boulevard.
So moved. Second.
Barber, thank you, Mr. Brown. Roll, Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
and Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Item is approved by a vote of 4-0. That concludes our regular agenda. Chairman Smith, we do have another item, which is item submitted by board members.
Any item submitted by the board meeting?
Mhm.
Me? Before me?
Go for it.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to say, to everyone, this is my last, official meeting. And I will, I do appreciate y'all's confidence in me being the chair. And you know me, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be around. So, whatever I can do, just let me know. But, it's been my pleasure to work with y'all. Y'all have made it easy. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I learned a lot from you. So I appreciate you being here and being like a mentor to me and help me navigate this process.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yes.
I would echo that, the sentiment that I think a lot of the board members that your leadership has really, provided, the direction that this organization needs, and really, it will sorely be missed, in the upcoming years. And we definitely will take you up on that offer.
I got his phone number. I got his phone number.
I would echo the same concerns, Ray. You've been more than just a chairman. You've been a friend. I enjoyed your advice. You certainly kept me involved with everything, and sorry to see this happen.
And these two guys here, I mean, we've done some serious wrestling.
Yeah.
And I've learned from that. Learned so much about you and all your capability and all the things that you do and your expertise and, and we don't agree on some of them categories, but most other things you do. But I've learned from you and then Malcolm also. I've we've won a few rounds too. But
I think the bottom line is we all want what's best. We got
Right.
different routes to get there,
right.
but at the end, as long as we arrive to what's best for the city, we on the
Exactly.
same page.
Exactly. And that's the way you have to be in this realm. And you can't hold grudges. You can't get mad because it didn't go your way, because next time it might.
Right.
So and I don't know how to hold grudges. I forget. I can't stay mad too long. I just forget why I was mad. So but I do remember. I do remember, and it helps guide me in the next opportunity. So thanks again, and especially to Brian. Brian, it's been a pleasure getting to know him and work with him, and him being in this spot here. I think it's gonna help y'all even more move on. And again, I've said this to you about 3 times. 4 times maybe. Thank you for putting him here, and I think you're gonna be okay too, whatever I can do, you know my number.
Yes.
And everybody, this guy I've probably known the longest, Jeff, he's been super. Even back my council days when I got to know him, even a little bit before my school board days, and Chelsea too, and everybody else. Thank you. Still a lot to do, a lot of work, but as I said before, you got some help coming, and my buddy sitting over here, Mr. Mark Hugel, and thanks for being here to sitting all of this out. I've learned this guy too in a short period, and he's a stand-up guy and very smart guy, been around. So, and he's gonna be a great addition, to him and Vernon, to the council. So, all of this is looking up, in my opinion. Okay.
On behalf of staff, I'd like to thank you for your leadership and the time you've committed in a volunteer role, that you've, helped the city, this department, this board, work through a number of major projects and accomplishments. You've helped to navigate some pretty tremendous and transformational projects in the city. The casino deal, just to name one, that I think you were instrumental in, you had a hand in, and I think you've left your imprint on the landscape here in Portsmouth, through this organization body. So I want to thank you for your help in being part of the team to do that. definitely is a team effort. This is a team sport that we're in. So I want to thank you for your commitment to the vision and seeing it through. So in your time, because I know you got other things going on. You're a busy guy, so we appreciate and never once call and you not answer. So, but I want to thank you for that.
Yeah.
Do appreciate it.
Okay, so it's moving on. I think that y'all didn't have anything, so it's, you have a report.
I think we've covered everything,
Okay.
and anything else we haven't, I can certainly handle offline.
Okay. Anything else before we thank y'all again for being here? Meeting adjourned.